you ever asked yourself, what do I truly want from life? The answer might come quickly. I want to be happy. But if I asked you, what does happiness actually mean? You might pause, look within, and realize you're not really sure. Maybe you've been chasing something unclear your entire life. In The Art of Happiness, the Dalai Lama, the spiritual leader of Tibet, sits down with American psychiatrist Howard Cutler to explore one simple but life-altering question. How can we be happy? This book isn't religious preaching. It's not shallow self-help. It's an honest conversation between the East that knows how to reflect and the West that knows how to analyze. Happiness isn't a distant goal, it's an inner skill. The purpose of our lives is to be happy. To the Dalai Lama, happiness isn't something you reach. It's something you develop. Just like a muscle grows with training, happiness is a mental skill. He explains that most people confuse short-term pleasure with lasting happiness. Pleasure is physical, food, money, success. But happiness? That comes from the mind, inner peace, compassion, and a sense of purpose. For him, happiness isn't a luxury. It's the reason we exist. But to find it, we don't need to change our lives. We need to change how we think. Suffering is part of life, but it doesn't have to be your enemy. The Dalai Lama starts with a truth no one can deny. We all suffer, but the difference between a happy person and an unhappy one isn't the amount of pain they experience. It's how they deal with it. Dr. Cutler talks about patients who've been through intense trauma, yet some come out stronger. Why? Because they saw their suffering as a tool for understanding, not punishment. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. The Dalai Lama explains that there are two types of suffering: natural suffering, loss, illness, death, and the kind we create ourselves through rejection, fear, and attachment. If we can accept the first kind and let go of the second, we gain a deep kind of psychological freedom. The key to happiness is inner peace. Have you ever been successful but anxious? Surrounded by people, yet deeply lonely? The book explains that the real reason is often the lack of inner peace. Inner peace is the foundation of happiness. True peace doesn't come from the outside or from perfect circumstances. It comes from inner clarity, from accepting yourself and letting go of mental battles. The Dalai Lama compares the mind to the ocean. If the surface is always stormy, you'll never see the depths. But when it calms down, you begin to understand yourself. And that's when happiness begins. Relationships and compassion, the heart of happiness. One of the things Dr. Cutler admired most in the Dalai Lama was his genuine kindness. How he treated every person with love, even those who disagreed with him. When asked how he kept that attitude, the Dalai Lama said simply, "If you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion." Compassion isn't just pity for others. It's the deep understanding of their pain and ours. From that place, real human connection is born. In a world full of isolation and competition, compassion is what makes us human again. The book explains that most of our unhappiness comes from disconnection. To be truly happy, we need to feel connected to ourselves and to others. Even love, according to the Dalai Lama, isn't just romantic. The highest form of happiness comes from loving humanity itself. It's not your life that needs to change, it's your thinking. Most people believe they need to change their lives to be happy. But the book shows us that you can stay in the same life and become far happier if you change how you think. For example, when something bad happens, you can either say, 1. Why did this happen to me? I'm a victim. Or 2. This happened. What can I learn from it? The difference between someone who drowns in pain and someone who grows from it is their interpretation of reality. The Dalai Lama introduces the idea of reframing, seeing a problem not as a disaster, but as a chance to understand yourself or to test your patience. By changing our perspective, we can change our experience. This is the heart of real transformation. Not changing the world, but changing the lens through which we see it. Comparison and expectations, silent thieves of joy. One of the biggest daily killers of joy, comparison. She bought a new car. He's way ahead of me. I'm so far behind. The Dalai Lama reminds us, surface-level comparison will never lead to peace, because someone will always have more. Something will always be missing. The solution? Not killing ambition, but practicing gratitude, building inner strength, and finding your worth from within, not from how others see you. Expectations are just as dangerous. The more you expect life to go your way, the more painful it feels when it doesn't. Happiness is not having what you want. It is wanting what you have. Meditation, a daily practice for the mind. The Dalai Lama doesn't just believe in meditation. He sees it as a daily mental cleanse. He says we often treat the mind like a machine that runs itself. But in truth, we can program it with focus and repetition. To him, meditation isn't just sitting in silence. It's a mirror that lets us see our emotions clearly. Through meditation, we observe thoughts instead of getting lost in them. We learn to quiet the mind in a noisy world. And we return to a state of deep peace. He sees it as brushing the mind every day, wiping away anger, anxiety, and comparison, so we can start each morning with clarity. The meaning of life doesn't have to be huge to matter. The book closes with a gentle truth. You don't need to understand the full meaning of life to be happy. It's enough to live each day with good intentions, with inner calm, and with a desire to serve yourself and those around you. To the Dalai Lama, life isn't a test or a race. It's a space to learn, to feel, to plant peace in your heart. The more you are motivated by love, the more fearless and free your action will be. Conclusion. In a world of speed, noise, and constant comparison, the art of happiness feels like an invitation to slow down, to turn inward, because happiness isn't out there. It's not in the dream you haven't reached yet, or in the thing you still lack. Happiness is here, in the present moment, in kindness, in compassion, in a single breath without fear. Happiness is an art, and to learn it, you don't have to change the world. You just have to look within.